Hey guys, Katie from the Homespun Hydrangea here. Thank you guys for coming back to my channel. Today I'm just going to be doing a quick little tour of my vintage Christmas tree that I've put all of my vintage Christmas ornaments on so that you guys can take a peek and hopefully be inspired. So one of the most exciting parts of getting this tree ready every year is this old box. This is actually the same box my mom used to keep all of her old ornaments in. It's an old Hickory Farms box. I believe my dad got it back in the 80s with fruit and some other things in it as a holiday gift from his office. And I just love it because it not only has all of her handwriting on it, but it also has my grandmother's handwriting on it from over the years when stuff would be stored in this box and put away for the holiday season. So since both of those lovely ladies aren't with us anymore, I just love getting this box out every year and just seeing a little bit of their writing and remembering kind of the memories behind it. Of course, opening the box is just as fun because it's almost like opening up a time capsule. I have so many old ornaments in this collection that we have accumulated over the years. They are either family ornaments or they are pieces I've picked up at thrift stores. They are ornaments that people have given me over the years, all vintage, some as old as turn of the century, and they all have a great story behind them. So just going through this box and opening it each year is just as exciting as putting the tree up. So don't panic, I do store them very carefully. I've just already started unwrapping them, which is why they are in the box unwrapped. But normally these guys get quite a bit of TLC because, as you can see, they're very fragile. It doesn't take much for the paint to chip or the glitter to come off or for them to break. So the tree that I'm using to display these beauties, it was just a thrifted tree. I've probably had it at least 15 years. I believe I paid about $15 or $20 for it. It's just an old white tree. It's starting to yellow a little bit, and of course the branches are starting to look a little rough. But I'm going to hang on to it, hopefully for another few years. It seems to do well. And of course I love the white because I feel like it really shows off the ornaments well. So these little birds that you see, these are kind of the original Elf on the Shelf. People used to put these little birds on their tree. They're little clip-on birds, and a lot of them were made in Germany. This little red guy was actually made in Italy. A few of them are American made, but these were like the eyes and ears of Santa. People used to put these on their trees, and children were told that they were watching to make sure that they were behaving during the holiday season. So I have quite a few of these birds. I've collected them for probably at least 10 years. The more rare and unusual birds can go upwards of $50, $60. Some of the more common examples you can expect to pay about $10 to $12. They've got the little fiberglass tails, but they're very sweet and they've got the great little clip. And I grab them anytime I see them and can get a good deal on them. I mean, honestly, who wouldn't want a cute little bird staring at you all season long? You can see this one even has the little old tag on it. It shows that it was made in Germany, and they are just adorable. I could never have enough of these. I really love any type of pink Christmas ornaments, especially if it has any of the stenciling on it. These ornaments go for a couple of dollars each, but if you do find one that's in really good condition and seems to be a little bit more rare as far as what is on it, you can expect to pay more. I do grab these whenever I see them, and I'm also really lucky because my next door neighbor, this is actually one of the ones that she gifted me. She gave me quite a few that were her grandmother's, and so I'm really enjoying them on the tree this year. But anytime you can find ornaments that are either in a pink type of decoration or they have the great little stenciling on it, it really makes them a great collector's piece and quite desirable. This little glass candle is one of my favorites. It's just a little glass piece. It's got the little ivy leaf on the bottom. I'm sorry, not ivy leaf, poly leaf on the bottom and a little pine cone. This was actually probably a centerpiece decoration of some type. But I have taken it and I've tucked it into my tree, and it just looks super cute with all of the other vintage glass pieces. One theme that you might see a lot when looking at vintage Christmas ornaments, there tends to be a lot of pine cones. There also tends to be a lot of fruit, and that's because a lot of these ornaments were based on pretty much symbolism. And so fruit meant that you would have a prosperous year, and they're kind of used for symbolism in that way. So I do have quite a few little fruit pieces, quite a few little pine cone pieces, and those are kind of all tucked throughout the tree. You see a lot of those when you're looking at examples of vintage Christmas ornaments. So some vintage ornaments, they're a bit on the quirky side. You can see this little clown is obviously a little frightening looking, but these types of ornaments also carry a great deal of value. Anything that's figural and made to look like a person or a Santa, those can all actually be quite valuable. So whenever I see them and I know I can get a good deal on them, I like to bring them home. I do have quite a few that are either Santas, or I do have the clown. You can also see this really cute mushroom here, which it's a fun piece. But anything like that with a face especially, I like to grab because I know that it will carry a good value, and it's just kind of more unusual. Here's another little one. I believe it's a little sun or a little moon, and he's a cute little guy. So whenever you see anything like that, they're worth grabbing because they are more unusual, harder to find, and they do carry a really great value. So we can't talk about vintage ornaments without talking about Shiny Brights. Shiny Bright ornaments were big in the 50s and 60s. Here's a couple of examples of the Shiny Bright ornaments. These seem to be the ones that a lot of people remember. I have a couple examples of these. They're in the kind of striped design, and they're hidden all the way at the top of the tree. I don't know about you, but it's so hard for me to believe that people used to put real candles on their tree. I couldn't even imagine. What a fire hazard that must have been. My mom had a lot of these little clip-on candles, and I've inherited them over the years, and so I have quite a few of them on my tree. Of course, we don't light them, we just use them for decoration. But I really do like them, and I can only imagine what those all would have looked like when they were all lit up. They're really a fun piece to have. You can find reproductions of these. Mine are all vintage, but when you do find the older ones, you usually can find them for a few bucks a piece. They're not that expensive. Some of the ornaments on this tree are super, super tiny. This little gold boot, I mean, it is really no bigger than a fingertip. And I've got quite a few little ones that are really about the size of a nickel or so. They're really tiny. Ornaments like these would have gone on smaller, like tabletop trees, what they would have called feather trees. And they are also getting pretty desirable as they're getting harder to find. As you can imagine, with them being so tiny, a lot of them have been lost and broken over the years. People love the small ornaments, people really love the big ones too. This one is about the size of my hand. It's a pretty good size, and the larger ornaments, of course, can bring a really good value. Whenever I see them, I just grab them for my collection. They usually tend to have a lot of detail and painting on them. But this is just a really cool pink example that I snagged. Actually, my neighbor gave me this one in a collection of ornaments that belonged to her grandmother. So I'm excited to have it and add it to our collection this year. When looking at vintage ornaments, chances are you will see some that look like musical instruments. I do have a couple of pieces like these. I just have these little horns, and they're really cute. They are broken and missing pieces, but I've just gone ahead and put them onto the branches anyhow, because I do love them, and I hate to see anything like this get tossed away if I can still preserve it and add it to my tree. Indent ornaments are another favorite of mine. Those are the ones that have the indent in the glass. A lot of these were made in Germany, but you do see some shiny bright ones as well. These just have the little indent in the glass just to give it a little bit more of a decoration. These have also become pretty valuable over the years, as you can imagine, a lot of them are just breaking. They're not withstanding the test of time very well. But I do have a few indent ornaments. They came in all different shapes and sizes. If you can find one with more than one indent on it, those ones are more valuable. But even the small ones can fetch a decent price. I like to keep the ones that I found, especially because a lot of these were either gifted to me or they belong to my mom. Really load this tree up. I don't hold back. The more that I buy, I just find room for it. But it's just a great small collection of vintage ornaments and pieces that mean a lot to me. And to be honest with you, the kids really enjoy them. They enjoy putting them up each year. And I'm really hoping that it's something I can pass down to them one day. So that's just a few of my ornaments, my fun little collection. I've got a few more that I need to find room for on the tree. If I can't, what I might just do is put them in a bowl or a jar or something like that to display them. And there you have it. I hope you guys have enjoyed taking a peek at my tree and the vintage ornaments. If you guys have not hit subscribe yet, make sure that you do before you go. And I will see you back on the channel next time. Thanks, guys.